Good morning. Welcome to the parent conference. How are you? Good. Um, so I want to talk about some things about your daughter and her reading skills. During the last few weeks, I've given your daughter a few reading assessments. When she was reading the passages, she came across a lot of words she didn't know. Sometimes she would sound them out, and she would be able to get them for the most part. Other times she would rush and just pick a word she knew looked close to the word she's trying to read. For example, if she saw the word strawberry, she might just say scarecrow because it kind of looks the same, and that would be her best guess. I suggested to her to slow down while reading and to try to remember to sound out the words so that she could actually try to find the right word. Um, During class, during whole group lessons, we have been learning a lot of new rules for reading. For example, like AR makes a R sound, or different things like that. Some that she seems to struggle with are when there are long vowel sounds, like if I was to say cake, then it's k, a, k, and the silent E on the end is making the A say its name. And she struggles with that. When she sounds it out, she says k, a, k, e, and she doesn't understand what that word is. So we have been doing small group, like one-on-one lessons, to review these skills with her. I've also pulled small groups where it's me and maybe 4 or 5 other children, and we read a passage with whatever rule we're learning about that they seem to be struggling with. Like if it was the long vowel sounds and the silent E, then we would read a passage that had a lot of words like that. And we would do that as a group, and then sometimes it was one-on-one. During some of these one-on-one lessons, I asked her to spell words that had vowels that said their name and had a silent E on the end. If I was to ask her how to spell cake, she would spell it C-A-K because that's what she hears, k, a, k, and she wouldn't put the E because she doesn't hear it. During these lessons, I tried to use various materials that I thought would make it more interesting than just spelling words over and over again. I used whiteboards, magnets, and a magnetic board, and letter cards very often. With the whiteboards, I would draw boxes and have her spell words, and each sound would go in its own box. So, for example, if we went back to the word cake, we could have 4 boxes and do k, a, k, and then put the silent E in one, so it'd be C in one, A in one, K in one, and E in the last one. I also had bought some of the magnetic letters from the store and got a magnetic board, and she would spell out words with that. She really enjoyed using the magnetic letters to spell words. When I would pull her for these one-on-one groups, she would ask if I had brought my magnets with me today, and she just really seemed to enjoy that activity. When I would pull her, and sometimes we also use letter cards, so each card would have a sound on it. So, for example, if we went back to the word cake, then she would have to find the 4 cards that have a C, A, K, and an E on there. Even though we don't hear the E, we still have to find the E to spell it. And that goes back to when we would do things like that, she would spell it C-A-K. Let's see. I'd also like to give a few tips to use at home with her. I suggest she reads for 15 or 30 minutes a day. I would not pressure her into keep reading like for the full 30 minutes if she's making a lot of errors and maybe seems to be getting frustrated really easily. I would definitely read for as long as she likes. So, like, if she needs to read for 10 minutes and then seems to be getting frustrated, then 10 minutes is fine. You can work into start small and then work up to the 30 minutes and even more the older she gets. And I would do that every day. It is important that you sit by her while she reads so that you can help her sound out words she may struggle with. I would give her a chance to try to do it herself, and then if it was something like k, ak, eh, then maybe say like, well, the silent E is making the A say its name, so how would we really sound it out? And hopefully she would be able to say k, ache, and get the word. Let's see. Also, if she is reading and not able to figure out a lot of words and her reading seems to get very choppy and she's not comprehending what she's reading, so try having her reread passages for practice, or if she struggled with a really hard sentence and stopped and had to sound out a lot, or maybe said a bunch of wrong words, have her reread that sentence so that she can comprehend what it said. I wouldn't do that a lot because if she's having to go through and reread every single sentence, she's going to get frustrated. I also wouldn't pick out the simple words she might miss, like if she said the snake instead of a snake. If she messed up like little words like that, I wouldn't point that out to her. Just if she was to say snack instead of snake, I would point out things like that. And then she can also learn from having someone read to her. I find it easiest to read right before bed. I do that with my daughter, and it's something, it like gets us in the bedtime routine, and she knows, okay, we're going to read this book and then it's bedtime. So that seems to be easiest. If you was to just have her read some nights and then you read to her some nights, so that she can learn like the right pace to read and not reading too fast or too slow. Like, you can model the correct way to do it. I will also share a link with you to a website that would be really good. It is called Reading Rockets. On their website, you can go down and they have different grades, and you could click your second grader tab, and then it gives you different activities you could do for different skills she needs to practice. I would use this resource, but also continue to read the handheld books, because being able to read from a book she can hold in her hand can teach her the correct ways to read. For example, it teaches her to start at the beginning of the book and not the back. Or it can teach her to read from left to right and then top to bottom. While sitting with other students, not just yours, I've noticed that kids go, like if it was kind of like text boxes and maybe people having a conversation, they'll read the one at top on the left page and go to the one on the top on the right page, and then go down to the left page at the bottom, and then go to the bottom of the right page, and then their conversation isn't making sense. So I try to tell them that read from top to bottom and then go over to your right page. Other kids seem to have struggled with the reading from top to bottom, so still reading a handheld book can help model the right ways to read a book. And with the website, they have different activities you can use. Like, if she needs to work on fluency, she can just read passages and get better at the reading. Or they can do, they had things for vocabulary or different, like, phonological awareness skills and things. So, like, there could be words with the long A the long vowel sounds and silent E on the end, so the passages could have a whole lot of words like cake in there to help her practice. So that would be a really good thing for her to work with. We also did several other assessments, and she did really good on a lot of them. I think that sometimes the passages were too hard for her, and maybe we needed to go down to a first grade level, which is perfectly fine. We want her to be able to make progress, and to do that she needs to read on the level that she is. So even at home, maybe, I know she mentioned to me several times she wants to read chapter books, but maybe right now she just isn't at reading chapter books. So maybe allow her to look at them sometimes, but really have her read like first grade level books. That would help a lot. And having a goal, I think, is really important too. For example, she had told me like one of her goals is to get better at reading so she can read the chapter books, like the Boxcar Children is one that she mentioned. And that would be great if she could have a goal to work towards to really may make her a little bit more excited about reading. But also, don't just give her the first grade level book she's not interested in, because we want to make sure she is interested so she actually wants to read. So find things that she's interested in, like sports. I know she really likes sports, or different things like that. Do you have any questions? No? Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day.